Every year in the United States, nearly 60% of first-year college students find out they're not ready for college-level classes. We see evidence in the number of students taking remedial courses in English and math. And this gap between college eligibility and college readiness is attracting the attention of parents and educators nationwide. Joining us now, a man who spent his lifetime working to educate children. He himself is a product of the New York City public school system. He's been a principal in Brooklyn, founded a charter school in Massachusetts. As part of the Obama administration, he was responsible for implementing Common Core learning standards. And he took a turn as Secretary of Education in the last quarter of the Obama White House. I recently sat down with the Secretary of Education, John King. What is the big, persistent problem that is the focus of all of your attention right now, the number one thing?
Yeah, I think our biggest problem is just how far short we fall from our goal of equitable educational opportunity for all students. There are too many kids, low-income kids, kids of color, English learners, students with disabilities, who aren't getting access to the full range of opportunities.
And that's been a focus for past secretaries of education as well.
That's
so
right.
What are you going to do
right.
that will sort of change that direction, which has really not been heading in a very good direction for a long time now?
Yeah. The good thing is we've certainly made progress over the last 8 years. You know, last year we had the highest graduation rate we've ever had as a country at 82%, driven in large part by reductions in the dropout rate for African American and Latino students. So that's good news. We have millions more students going on to college today. That's good news. And we've got tens of thousands more students getting high quality early learning. Also good news. That said, we've got a lot of work to do. The President signed a new federal education law in December, the Every Student Succeeds Act. And that law, I think, is going to help us because it creates more flexibility for states and districts than No Child Left Behind, the prior version of the federal education law. But it maintains strong civil rights guardrails that will focus states and districts' attention on the kids who are most vulnerable.
As technology becomes more entrenched in education, it seems another area in which all of those kids that you mentioned are really left behind, right? It's great if your school has an iPad to give you, but if you don't have broadband, no Wi-Fi at home, then you're stuck. That's
right. One of our goals throughout the administration has been working to increase broadband access, particularly for high-needs schools, high-needs urban, high-needs rural schools that don't have that access. And it gets in the way of being able to take advantage of some really excellent educational opportunities. I was in a classroom once where students were taking a class in anatomy, and they were actually part of a live operation in another state where someone's knee was being operated on, and there was a camera inside the knee, and the doctor was narrating the operation. Now, some students have access to those opportunities because they have the technology and the broadband. Others don't. And so we've been trying to close that gap with a very large investment in broadband access.
Two issues that I find interesting. In New York City, where I live, there's a really harsh debate going on between charter and public schools. And how are you handling that? And I think not also tied into that is this vilification of teachers that I have seen increase over the years. My mom was a teacher for decades and decades. And really, I think today the rhetoric around educators is incredibly nasty. On those two fronts, I'd be curious to know what's happening.
Yeah, on the charter front, I think the key thing is that charters can be a positive force. I think they're going to be an enduring part of our education landscape, but they got to be good. And unfortunately, we have some states that have not done a very good job with charter authorizing. And so they let charters open without setting a very high bar. They allow charters to continue to operate that aren't fulfilling their mission. So that's a problem. We're working to help states improve their charter authorizing. At the same time, where charters are getting great outcomes, we should see more of those schools, and we should help those schools to serve more kids. And I think at the end of the day, for families and for kids, it's not so much about the governance model. It's about, is this school good? Is this school going to help me be successful in college and careers? And where charters are doing that, we should support them. In terms of teachers, I was a teacher, a kid of two teachers, and I grew up in New York City, went to New York City public schools, and New York City public school teachers are the reason I'm doing what I'm doing. They're the reason that I'm even alive today, given the challenges I faced as a kid. So I've made it a priority as secretary to try to lift up teachers. I am very worried about the ways in which folks are blaming teachers for all the challenges we face in our society. It's not fair. At the same time, we want to make sure that we have excellence in the classroom.
At the same time, there's tons and tons of testing, right? Which it's not okay to fail. Mm-hmm. And actually, you need to be, taught to the test so you're able to be successful on the test, because that matters in every which way. How do you balance those two things, which I think are frustrating for everyone who's involved in the process? Certainly the parents, certainly the students, the teachers, the administrators.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you have to make school great and interesting and fun and engaging. And I think, unfortunately, in some places, there's a sense that preparing students to succeed on the test means that the experience of class has to look just like the test.
Because the stakes are so high.
And so part of what we've got to do is we've got to shift the thinking and say, actually, what makes students successful on the test and ultimately in college and careers is rich instruction.
John King is the U.S. Secretary of Education. Nice to have you with us. Appreciate it.
Thanks.